Hey everybody, it's Joseph Shepard and welcome to a brand new show that we are calling Exposed After Dark. We take the old Exposed, mix it with a little bit of sexy After Dark flavor, and that's what we get. Today we have the absolute honor and privilege of chatting with somebody who was on Drag Race, who was on Legendary, and is now in the ballroom scene. She's fucking killing it. It's Aja.
Hi, this is a live autopsy.
Exposed After Dark with Joseph Shepard. Tonight's special guest, Aja.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
You were in the ballroom scene.
Yes.
As you've talked about in other interviews, your last name has changed multiple times, but you have not said, why did you switch houses? Like, I want to know the house switching. Like, what happens in that atmosphere? Do you as an individual, are you like, oh my gosh, I'm not feeling this vibe? Are you more like, oh, okay, like something is happening? Like, what's the tea?
So, I don't know how else to put it. I've been in the ballroom scene for about maybe 15, 16 years. And I've been in both the Kiki scene and the mainstream scene. And in Kiki, I was in 2 houses, and then I got deemed as a 007, and then I paid it. I was like, whatever. But in mainstream, I've been in, this is my 4th house, but over maybe what, like 11, 12 years. So I think sometimes you're in a house that works for you at that moment, and maybe it's doing something for you at that moment. But then maybe there's a time where it doesn't work for you anymore, and maybe you need something new. For me personally, that's how I navigate those things. But also, I did take like a 4 or 5 year hiatus from ballroom, in which I did Drag Race and did all this other stuff. So for me personally, I feel like in that period, since I wasn't active, I wasn't in a house. When I came back, I was in the house of LaBeija. But when I left LaBeija, it was just because I wanted something new, and I wanted something that was more fitting for what I was doing at the moment. And ever since then, I've been in the house of Miyake Mugler.
Do you find that your experience there is more of what you like?
Yes, I do feel like as a Miyake Mugler, I feel like it's perfect for where I am right now, because there is a sense of understanding my star quality, and there's a sense of utilizing me to my full potential, while also giving me space to create and to do what I need to do. But yeah, you know, no house is ever going to be perfect, but it's all about how you utilize your resources, and at the same time, just pay close attention to how they utilize yours, because it should always be an even exchange.
Oh, that's what Aja went. Aja, Miyake Mugler. Aja, the international, sent across the board.
We see things like, you know, how houses used to be. We saw Legendary, but when it comes down to like what is actually happening, how do you figure out about when a ball is going to happen? How do you figure out what the categories are? Like, what's that whole process like?
Oh, babe, Facebook.
Facebook?
Yeah, you know, if it wasn't for ballroom, I wouldn't be on Facebook. But basically, there's always an event that comes up, like a little event page, and then there's like the categories and the prizes and stuff. And yeah, you could tell. And also this talk in the community. The ballroom community internationally is very small, even though it's really big. So it's like, especially in the States, you always know when something in the States is going on. Like, I knew there was a ball last night in Seattle. Was I there? No, but there was people from New York there. There was people from everywhere there, because there was big cash prizes. Women's performance, which is cis women voguing, was $5,000 last night. So like, you know, all the women's performance girls flew out from Philly, New York, you know, Florida, Arizona. They was outside. You even had girls coming from like Tokyo. So it's like
Crazy.
You know, the community is just small. So we see it and know it all, but there's still like thousands of people in the scene. Maybe even I dare to say like hundreds of thousands. At this point.
Why do you think that Legendary ended?
Well, Legendary ended because HBO Max was bought by a new company, which is why they changed it to Max. And as process of their moving over, they canceled all reality competition shows. And you know, people have this big elaborate theory. They're like, oh, it was bad, it wasn't doing well. Which is not true, actually. They just, they canceled it because they canceled every reality TV show. That was just the only one that was really being watched. My time on Legendary was horrendous.
Why do you say that?
I was on there with a team that wouldn't be the team that I would have picked.
Was it all people that were actually in the house?
We were all in La Beige at the time.
Okay.
However, there were people that I had never met before. There was people who I'd never worked with before. And then there was also, we had someone on our team who was incredibly difficult. You know, we had people who didn't want to wake up, didn't want to go to stuff. And it's like, you know, when you're in a group setting, you're only as good as your worst team member. And I feel like, I feel like people outside, on the outside are like, oh my God, girl, you did your thing on Legendary. Oh my God, yes, God, and I'm like, okay, work. But, you know, there's also people to this day who are like, oh, you can't make comments on Ballroom because you were horrible on Legendary. And it's like, you know, I'm like, do I deserve that because was I horrible or was the worst person on my team horrible? So, you know, that experience, I loved the show and what it did. But because of being judged as a group, it's hard for you to do your own thing.
Yeah.
And I wish people would just learn to separate the team members.
Speaking of Ballroom, you, of course, you know, had your lovely controversy with Miss Anitra.
Right.
And I think that I didn't fully understand anything until I was chatting with like Mariah Paris Balenciaga. And I had asked her, I was like, when you watch these performances and you see things that are on the Drag Race stage, do you take offense to it? You know, being a ballroom. And she basically said, the issue that I have is not necessarily that they are doing these things. It's that they are not crediting it to the right place. They're calling it different names, and that's not what they should be called. Or it's them not giving any recognition to the community. Is that like what you felt, or was there a different reason behind things?
So it's funny because I feel like I was never initially angry at Anitra. And when I look at it and reflect on it and whatever, I sort of like go back and I go, okay, where did this start? When the show came out, you know, did I think that the performance was good as a complete? Yeah. You know, I mean, I've said it publicly. I didn't like the duck walk, not because it was her and she was doing it, but because I didn't think it was good.
Yeah.
That's just me. And afterwards, I feel like where I really started kind of like doubling down on what my statements was because icons in the ballroom scene were speaking up about it. And, you know, fans of the show were being nasty to the icons. And I'm like, how are you going to be nasty to the icons, the fucking Wonder Woman of Vogue, Laomi, but... you know, you're sitting here defending someone who is not in the community. And that was like the confusion to me. And I think that I waged war with Anitra's fans. And because of that, I felt like I just kept attacking her fans.
Yeah.
But in turn, I was also like unintentionally getting at her. And then it just felt like everything I would say was a point to prove to her fans, like, oh yeah, anyways, like I said. But after a while, I kind of thought about it, and I was like, you know, there has to be a healthier way to approach the situation. And I started to think, okay, maybe I should reach out. So I reached out to her, and we spoke about everything, and everything was pretty good. I was actually received by her with a lot of love, and, you know, she also understood where I was coming from. And I thought it was very sweet. I was actually very surprised that she was so kind about the situation because had it been me and somebody did that to me, understandably, I would have been like, bitch, fuck you. So I was like, okay, she's very kind and very sweet for being so forgiving, but at the same time, understanding. So I was like, okay, you know, good for you, Anitra. Like that was very grown. I do wish that earlier she would have spoken up about it. I think what I've learned after like getting to know her is that social media is not really her thing. And I think that she's one of those people that pops in and out when she needs to. And, you know, some people do that. So whatever. I stretched it out too for a minute because I was just like, and people were talking about it to me all the time and asking me about it all the time. And I'm just like, oh girl, I'm so tired of hearing about fucking quack this, duck walk this, and walk that fucking duck. But you know, at this point, I don't care. At this point, it's like, I'm outside, she's outside, we outside. It is what it is.
I want to talk about us. I remember our first interview. It was on the red carpet of your finale.
Yeah.
You were in a light blue dress.
Light blue brocade dress with the Comme de Garçon sleeves, and then I had a yellow updo, half up, half down.
Yes.
But who would have known that one little moment where I, probably was just a little hungry, a little over it, that I would say something that people would be quoting and putting on shirts like, what?
And then I know that I saw you at DragCon, I believe the year after, and that's when you had the clown like sad.
Yes. When I was secretly transing, I was like, the whole theme of my booth that year was like this whole like I'm in my feelings concept. So like I had done like a day where I was like supposed to be happy, so I was like wearing all this pink and shit, and then I was the sad clown, and then the third day, because that was when DragCon was 3 days. I don't know if it still is.
No.
I did like this half look where I was supposed to be happy and sad. But the imagery was like the sad boy, the happy girl. It was me like kind of like admitting that I was low-key Optimus Prime.
Watch this.
I feel like if there's one thing I always wanted to do is create like an atmosphere for my fans and supporters to like feel like, they spent their money good and they got a cute photo. I always think about the photo. Those last forever and those last long. And I still see pictures of girls' booths from 2017, and oh Lord, they're just awful. It's just like a backdrop, or it's just like a small little like sofa, just no creativity. And I'm like, good for you, but there's a reason why the lines were so long. Who said it recently? Mistress Isabel Brooks.
Yes.
She said the lines at DragCon do not lie. And I anticipate that the day that I return to DragCon, if I do, I will be seeing an eventful line. I just carried on that, no shade.
Before we take a commercial break and go into you spinning the bottle, I do want to know, you have talked about on other interviews that sometimes you have night spirit visits. I want to know what the creepiest night spirit visit you had was. And what does that entail?
So a lot of people who may not know this about me, I am a medium. So I discovered this growing up. I would see stuff all the time, and at first it started off as a little like sneaky shadow kind of corner of my eye, like me, like, whoa, what the fuck was that? But then it developed into like sometimes fully seeing, fully fleshed out appearing things where I'd be like, oh shit, is this a person? Like right here in front of me? And I feel like they would manifest a lot at night, and I was actually terrified to sleep by myself. I slept with my mom until I was like 15 because of it.
Wow.
But I would wake up in the middle of the night, and I would have like sometimes like people talking to me, like they'd be like, hey. And like I would hear them vividly, and they'll be like trying to tell me like, can you help me? Can you help me get light? Like it would be crazy. Like it would be like asking for light, asking for like one time I woke up and there was like this woman there, and she was like wearing like full like gingham print, but like very old looking, and she had this like dark skin, and she had like this like really beautiful like face, and it was just like she was like, I need you to pray for me. Like, can you pray for me? And I remember in the middle of my sleep, like when you're like kind of lucid, like you're kind of in and out, and I started praying for her, and like I was like, it's shit like that, and I remember it vividly. When I was younger, I kept a dream journal because of how often it happened, but sometimes I would have nightmares too. Like one time I had a nightmare that I lifted up my pillow and there was a whole bunch of roaches under, and then when I covered it back up, but it was so lucid that I thought it was real because I covered it up with my pillow and I was up already, and then when I moved it, there was no roaches under there, and I was like, this is awful. So yeah, that whole thing, at first I thought I was just dreaming, and I thought I was just like having really bad lucid like dreams. But then I started seeing shit during the day, and then I started getting like messages, and then it would be like me next to people, and they would be like, oh, that's my daughter over there. Can you tell her this? And it's like it became this thing where I feel like the spirits were very aware that I could see them, because I don't think I did a good job, because I'm a starer. If I see someone looking at me, I'm gonna stare at them. So I would stare at them, and then they would walk up to me, and I would freak out. I'd be like, why is this person walking up to me? Yeah. And then they'll be like, I started realizing, at this point I started realizing, I would get a feeling, a sensation of like all the hairs on my body going up, and that's till this day how I navigate being able to tell between what may be a fully fleshed out living person and maybe like a spiritual apparition of some sort. And, you know, I always say this. I say I have very good intuition, and I have very good, in my culture we call it adashe. And I've never been wrong in something I've told somebody. So I tell people all the time, the day that I tell you something is gonna happen and doesn't happen and I'm wrong, I will throw everything away. I will never say nothing to nobody again, and I will just shut my fat ass up. Yeah, I stand on 10 toes. You know, I'm a hood bitch. I'm from New York City. Like, I always gotta stand 10 toes. Like, it is what it is.
Well, let's keep you standing on your 10 toes. When we get back, I'm just gonna spin the bottle. We're gonna figure out what is gonna be the next segment. Are you ready?
I'm high as fuck.
Exposed after dark with Joseph Shepard.
Do you know what my favorite thing to do after dark is? Sex. I said it. And now that I got you thinking about it, now that I got your attention, let's talk about Freddie, the #1 rated and most inclusive PrEP clinic. PrEP is a pill that you take daily, and it reduces your risk of acquiring HIV. With Freddie, you can get your PrEP prescribed online, get it delivered to your door. It is discreet, so you don't have to worry about any of that. And it's also free for over 90% of Freddie patients. With 100% virtual consultations, you get your PrEP prescribed online and delivered to your door discreetly. I mean, what more can you ask for? Freddie even offers DoxyPep, which can be used to enhance STI prevention. So get started with Freddie's 1-minute PrEP questionnaire at gofreddie.com. That's GOFREDDIE.com to see if PrEP is right for you. And let's get back to the show, and you can think about what I'm doing after dark.
Exposed after dark with Joseph Shepard.
We are back. I'm here with Aja, and each episode there is a little bottle that I made in my craft work apartment, and it looks like shit. But each queen is going to spin this bottle, and it will determine what the next segment is. Aja, are you ready?
I'm fucking scared.
Did you ever spin the bottle when you were a child? I mean, not a child, but like a teenager?
I was about to say a child. Where were you? Because not this, not I. I was an innocent, young individual sucking dick.
I am going to read you 3 different questions.
Okay.
And you can choose to send one of them back in the closet. So you do not have to answer one of them.
You know I'm an open book, baby.
However, I'm not reading them all at the same time. I'm reading them individually, so you have to choose.
Okay.
You ready?
Wait.
Yeah.
What?
So I'll read question number 1, and then you have to tell me if you want to put it back in the closet and not answer
Or
it, answer it.
And I could just answer all of them.
Yes.
Oh, baby, go ahead.
You have made apologies for tweets, thoughts, opinions, etc. Do you stand by all of the apologies, or were any made just to shut people up? And if so, which ones?
I feel like all of them were made to just shut people up. I shouldn't have to apologize. At the end of the day, I feel like, you know, people online, first of all, online is not real. It is literally made up. And it's a bunch of people with fake profiles, like just talking shit and then being annoying. And it's like, if I want to talk shit and be annoying too, let me fucking do so. I just have my face attached to it. And people sit there and they'll be like, oh, but this is your profession. This is your career. Bitch, my career is being on stage, which I am 1,000% amazing at. So if I want to go online and act a fucking fool and be a nuisance just like you, I can. You know, and then people be like, oh, it just looks bad. And it's just like, you know what looks bad to me? Having a picture of fucking Yugi as your like icon and avatar, but you're calling someone like a dumb fat bitch. Like, to me, that looks bad. It's like, at least I feel like nothing that I've done and said is to like the capacity of some things that maybe like, you know, like an Azalea Banks, Kanye West type of like, just like what the fuck is going on type of situation. I think everything that I've ever said, I've backed up with proof, with concern, and it's just been out of, you know, logical reasoning. So anytime I have apologized, it's just like, you know what, girl, if I don't apologize, people will stay on me. They will not let down. And it's more of like, let me shut these people up. Because at the end of the day, it's just like, when I'm on social media, I just want to be a dumb bitch too, just like all of you. Like I want to do my research. I want to watch funny videos.
Yeah.
Watch videos of people cooking shit from scratch that I'll never fucking try. You know, I don't want to be getting online to hear somebody calling me a gorilla bitch and like calling me a man. Like I'm just like, girl, I feel like damage control is real, and I think if anybody says, "Oh, I really meant it," I'm like, a lot of you are liars. You know, and maybe there is shit that I've meant like apologies for, like if I really said something that I felt was out of line, but I always deliver the apology to where it needs to be delivered. I write the address on the parcel. I'm not going to sit there and make a public apology to someone or to like a group of people because, bitch, what the fuck am I apologizing to all of you for? You don't know me and I don't know you. Drag race queens, whoever the fuck, celebrities, please stop fucking apologizing for shit that you don't need to apologize for.
Oh, yeah.
Let the public spin their narratives. I think that if we did less damage control, I feel like people would feel more comfortable being themselves. It's like, I don't know, how now people go on TV and reality shows, especially stuff like Drag Race, and I feel like a lot of times the girls don't let go and they're not.
No,
really,
they don't at all.
They're not being themselves sometimes, or like they're being very like demure about it. And it's just like, I get it. Everybody wants to be demure, but like, it's like,
I don't come to work with a green cut crease.
reality TV back in the day, all like, oh, I run LA, bitch, and bitch, pumpkin, like, bitch, you look like Luther Vandross.
Beyonce fucking look like Luther Vandross.
I feel like people need to understand that it's okay to be a little chaotic. You know what's funny? Because in my real life, I'm so quiet. I'm a Capricorn through and through. People think I'm at the party, I'm at the club. Bitch, I'm at home smoking a blunt and like playing video games. Like, I don't have time for nobody. I never have real drama in my life. Like the internet drama with all the shit, to me, that shit is not real. But in my real life, I'm never stressed about nothing. I'm doing my ones, I'm doing my twos, and I'm a community leader in many ways. So I'm just out there doing what I have to do and walking the children in nature. Thank you. What have you done? Ask yourself that question. Do that one. Honestly, I'm trash.
We're going to figure out if you're trash with this next question. Did you really steal those designer spoons from a person you were dog walking for?
Okay, you want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
And this is why I say I'm very divinely protected. So, shout out to Hillary, the girl who fired me. Dumb bitch. So I was dog walking and cat sitting for a while, and I was doing this because I was going through a lot of anxiety, and I was like, bitch, I need to like make me a side coin while being like, I don't know, active, stimulated. So, you know, it was a lot of walking. It was healthy. It was like, you know, nice. And I love animals. So I was like, okay, let me go do this one. First, I started getting complaints that I was not like cleaning out like cat's litter, which was bullshit because everything that I do, I'm an exemplary worker. I work hard. I'm very meticulous, very organized, and I'm very like careful about everything that I do. So I know that I never, ever missed anything. And I started getting complaints that I was missing cat's litter, that, you know, I left the door unlocked, shit that I knew was not true. And I was like, okay, I got an email and they were accusing me of stealing designer spoons. And I was like, first of all, I'm sorry. I don't know what white people be doing these days. Why the fuck do you have designer spoons? That's first of all. Second of all, y'all eat with them spoons? Because I'm definitely not touching them. I'm not touching no fucking spoon you put in your nasty ass mouth. I don't even know if you brush your teeth. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and then it's like, oh, you're accusing me of taking that. Who am I selling them to? Who the fuck is buying spoons? Like, that was my thing. Like, I was just sitting there like, y'all made no fucking sense. So my response to her was very, very professional because I yelled it into ChatGPT and told them to make it professional. So, and I responded and I let them have it. And then they told me I was fired because they basically accused me of doing it. And I said, well, how are you gonna fire me with no proof? And they were like, well, we're not accusing you, but we have no proof you didn't do it. And I was like, the proof that I didn't do it is the proof that you don't have to prove that I did it. And they were like, well, unfortunately, you're terminated. And they said it was from JPC management, no longer just Hillary. So I responded and I called them out on being racist. And I told them I was gonna sue their company. And I kept telling them I was gonna sue them. And then they were trying to get me to go back to give them all my my collars and stuff. And I was like, I ain't giving y'all shit, fuck y'all. And then, so this is why I say I'm divinely protected, because I always thought that Hillary made it up because she was a racist bitch. And 3 months later, she was taking care of a dog and she got her face bit to the point where she had to get surgery. And I was just sitting there and I was like, I love it. I thought about texting her and being like, I hope you get well soon. And I hope it looks permanent.
You would just need to put that through ChatGPT.
No, I wouldn't. Because some people, I feel like people don't understand. Like when I say I'm divinely protected, I'm a very kind individual. Yes, I'm stern. Yes, I'm opinionated, but I'm a very kind person.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very kind to her. And, you know, I just feel like you fuck around and you find out. I hope she watches this. Shout out to you, Hillary.
Your last one. You can send it back in the closet because you've answered the first two.
Can I just send you back in the closet?
That would be awful.
I'm just kidding.
I was the worst person in the closet.
Worse than now?
Oh! The rumor mill is spilling over saying apparently you are on an upcoming season of Drag Race. Is this true or false?
See, it's funny because if I were, you know, I wouldn't be able to say so because we signed these things called non-disclosure agreements. I'm sure you've heard of an NDA. But then if I wasn't, I would also have to say no because I'm not. So I would just have to say I'm not.
I love that answer.
I mean, it's just simple, cut and dry. I do think the day that I ever decide to make an appearance on RuPaul's Drag Race again, I definitely think that people will have to get ready to embrace a completely new, different side of me that they're not used to. Because I think if I ever go back on television, it's to be a menace.
I like that.
I think it would completely be to just like be an idiot. Like I don't know. I feel like people have an obsession on Drag Race these days with being stupid, but like I know I could never be stupid because I'm too smart. So instead, I would just be myself.
Would you do other shows? Would you ever do like The Traitors or like things like that? Like, would you like want to be like a villainous villain? Like, what's the tea?
You know, it's funny. I feel like I don't really give villain vibes. I think I give Maleficent vibes. I think that people love to make me out to be a certain way, but I'm really not. But I'm actually this really kind fairy. And, you know, I feel like I would do so many TV shows. I would do it. I tell myself I wouldn't, but I know if they called, I would be like, oh, fuck it, let's go. I would do it. I think that, I don't know. When I think of what my trope is, like who I am on a reality TV show, I can't pinpoint my character. I just know that I just know I'm good at whatever it is. I know that you put me in front of a camera and you put the right lighting and you tell me to go off and I'm going to go off and do what I got to do.
Well, we're going to take a break. When we get back, Aj is going to spin the bottle again.
I used to model in Korea when I was 18. Sometimes when Juice can't record an episode, I just pretend to be her and have a conversation with myself. Just talk to myself, both sides. And I had an Etsy shop where I sold bolo ties.
So 3 things about me is 1, I've been with my husband for over 20 years. 2, one of my nipples was reconstructed out of pig skin. And 3, I said no to Canada versus the World season 1.
I'm Cynthia Kiss, and I did model in Korea when I was younger. Cheekbones, it was gorgeous. I don't record episodes without Juicebox. Each episode is with our girl, but so many listeners say we sound the exact same, so it's my little bit. And then I did actually have a bolo shop on Etsy where I was selling little bolos. I love a bolo.
Hi, I'm Juice, and me and my husband have been together over 20 years. Love him very much. One of my nipples was reconstructed out of pigskin when I was 6 months old after a severe burn, and no one has called me for any kind of All-Stars, so I didn't say no to anything because that would be stupid.
We are back. I'm here with Aja. She's about to spin the bottle again. I'm about to show you some pictures from your past.
I'm mortified.
And I would love to know what you were thinking in this moment, what the tea was behind it. You ready?
Yes. Hold on. Hold the fuck up. Okay. So there was this was a New Year's party, and oh my God, this was like in 2015 or no, this was way before that, not 15. Oh my God, I carried. This is like 2011 or 10 or some shit like that. And I was probably like 17. You know, I look like I'm 50, but it's so bad. So it was a New Year's party for, I forgot. It was at the place called I don't even remember. All I remember was that there was this drag queen named Roxy, and she had invited us out, and we were there, just no gig, nothing, just not even getting paid and just existing. And I took this picture with my best friend from high school, Gabby, but I cropped her out. And
Wait, is this her here?
no, she's on the other side. Not you, like, is this her here? It's the
Well, I
blank.
was like, did you like Photoshop this shit?
So funny enough, somebody has catfished on Facebook using this picture.
Stop.
And they used AI to change it up a little bit. And there's like a whole name of like I have to find the profile and send it to you. But like me and my
Yes.
friends found it and we were crying. Like they made a whole fake life role playing as this picture. And it's like hysterical. Like, and like they'd be talking to people like, oh, I picked up the kids. How are the kids? The kids are good. Like, it's insane.
This is a moment, girl.
That is a moment.
A
because
moment.
That is a mom.
You ready for the next one?
I'm scared. Oh my God. Not this picture. To be honest with you, I don't even know, but there was this era in like my drag career where I felt like I was very obsessed with like, cause I'm a horror freak and I was obsessed with just like adding weird horror elements into my drags, but like none of it ever made sense. Like, to be honest with you, this picture is like this structured like rayon fucking dress with a knife with glitter. Red
Can I tell you
glitter
what
on
I
it.
see?
What do you see?
I see a version of Meatball in the face combined with Joan Crawford and a knife.
I will take it. I will take it. You know what? I'm Meatball Crawford with a knife. That's what we're calling this photo.
I love that. That's like a clue thing.
It was Meatball Crawford with the knife.
Okay, this is how I came to know you.
Oh, Lord.
And this is my favorite thing still to this day.
Okay, I'm scared.
This performance.
Oh, my God. Give me tonight. Do you see the ill-fitting leotard with the really badly drawn-on yiddies?
What do you mean? These are great. This performance. I think that there was so many times on Drag Race that I had seen people perform and also in clubs and stuff, but the amount of facial expressions, emotion that you gave in a performance, I think that this is when I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to see this girl on Drag Race because these performances are fucking killer. You embody a song in a way that I don't think other people do.
I agree with you. I feel like what was funny was that I used to perform this song all the time, and I used to do it this way. And then I actually had found out that Detox does something similar. But then I found out that the root of all of it went back to this other drag queen, this trans queen named Sierra Fox, who murders this song. And it was funny, but it was kind of weird because I had never seen any of them do the song when I started doing it. So I was like, oh, this is like a lineage of like people doing like weird robotic shit. Like, that's so cool. So I always say shout out to them. But this performance is hilarious. This performance had Mark Jacobs in my DMs like, you're insane for this. And that's actually how I ended up befriending him. Also, RuPaul has personally told me like that she loves this performance. She's like, that performance is just it's so stupid. Like, it's so good. And I'm like,
So good.
I'm very appreciative for doing this. But if you watch the video, like, nobody in that bar knew what the fuck was going on.
Everybody was like,
They didn't know what was happening. And to be honest with you, I didn't know what was happening.
you're Crystal LaBeija. But I want to know, because you did this in your actual audition video for the first season. It was this and Cynthia Lee Fontaine.
What? So you've seen my tape?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yes.
Star Cuckoo's in space! You think she's gonna get some cash money today? She doesn't deserve anything because RuPaul is her friend and she said, come compete, she won't win a thing.
Why did you not do either Cynthia or Crystal the first time? Were you afraid? Was it like production? What was it?
I don't know why I didn't do Cynthia, probably because she was there. And
yeah.
I didn't do Crystal. I don't remember why. So all I remember, so keep in mind, when I was on season 9, I was like in like not the best like situation in life, period. So when I was there, I was kind of at some point after I got dragged for the whole like Princess Disaster thing, I kind of closed up in a shell and was like, I'm just gonna play it safe. And I felt like if I had did Alyssa that day, I would play it safe, and I was safe. And yeah, like I was scared to take risks after that because I was like, if I get eliminated, I'm going home. And I, you know, my situation wasn't the best. So it was like, well, let's do that one, but we'll do half of that one. But I'm happy I ended up doing it on All Stars.
Yeah.
And it was a lovely experience. I mean, I should have been in the top 2. When I watched the final edit of the show and a lot of my performances was edited out, I was like, oh, like I was kind of mad. You know, I know people in Ballroom were sharing this photo in the Ballroom groups, which was funny because I was in them, but they had no idea that I was in Ballroom. And I think it's because I used to be in Ballroom as a male figure, so when they saw me in drags, they did not know who I was.
Yeah.
So they were like, there were people debating like my Ballroom history in the bottom. Like people were like, actually, no, that's this person. I've seen them around. And they were like, no, I've never seen her. It's like, it was a whole thing. I was just sitting there like entertained. They did the same thing when I did the talent show. You know, the talent show, now known as the variety show, because a lot of girls don't have talent.
That was a good one. I like that.
Well, you know, it is what happened. I mean, that day they called it a variety show because we had a few people do things that were extremely questionable. But that day, I was just like, bitch, I just want to like go out there and like have fun. It wasn't my original performance. I had wanted like a swing and like all these things and like they
like
were like
BDSM.
No, but in the email they sent me showing me swings. There was a BDSM swing, and I was like, this is not the swing I wanted. I wanted like a nice, like kind of like a trapeze artist swing.
Okay.
And I wanted to have like rose petals like coming like very like anime inspired. And but they didn't clear it. And so I was like, what can I get? And that morning I was watching a clip of Laomi, and it's this like beat, and it's like it has Joan Crawford, and it's like, no wire hangers, dush, no wire hangers, dush, no wire hangers, ever. And she dips off the stage, and I was watching it because we had YouTube in the rooms, and I said, bitch. I got to the studio. I said, Bruce, I need you to get me a platform. And he was like, for what? And I said, just get me the platform. And then when we were doing like the rehearsals and stuff, you know, the producers watch, they were like, are you going to jump off the platform? I was like, yes. And they were like, okay. And in the rehearsal, I actually was supposed to wear these cute little mint and lavender lace shoes. But the bodysuit had a huge blood splat on it because it had a rhinestone on the knee. And I did it twice in rehearsal. And like I was bleeding. But so I decided to wear thigh highs with it for the performance.
What did you think when you saw the reaction? Because Rue went crazy.
Well, we recorded more than once.
Oh, yeah.
So the first time I felt like nobody had a reaction. So I was like, well, I lost. And then the second time it was just like, they were so like blown away. And I was like, okay, maybe I fucked it up the first time. I was like, I don't know. I was just like, you know what? I love it. Listen, you like it, I love it.
The last one I have for you, of course, is the most iconic first time that you were on.
Oh, Lord.
You're perfect. You're beautiful. I remember asking you at the finale if you made any money off the music that was happening. You said no.
Yeah, I still haven't. I paid it. I paid it forward. I'm like, it is what it is. You know, this was a very real moment, and I feel like we need more real moments on TV, and you know, it kind of solidified me as a big player in reality TV because I felt like a lot of people were not really speaking their mind. And also because at that moment, I feel like a lot of people were kind of hating on Valentina, but they were just not saying nothing.
Yeah.
And we found that out at the reunion. But I feel like during this time, I genuinely thought I was going to be in the top. I'm not even lying to you. I thought I was going to be in the top. And like, I feel like other girls were egging me on, like, I think you're going to be in the top. And I mean, like, the whole point of it, even though they dragged the look, like, my whole point was to be a disaster. It was supposed to look bad. But like, I think also RuPaul, when we were getting ready for the challenge, was like, remember ladies, make it unconventional. And I went really far with that unconventional statement. And I was like, okay. And so, yeah, I'm over here in busted chaps, a bralette. Like, it didn't make sense. But, you know, I got read that day by Todrick for not lining my coat. I was like, girl, this is Drag Race. Line the coat, line the faux fur coat. Yeah, okay, girl. It was a lot. It was crazy. But it was that moment, too, that after the lip sync, I was like, I am coming in the next day with, I'm wearing the least amount of makeup from here on out. I've changed my whole face on the show. And I hated that makeup, too. So it was just like, we all gotta do something. It's funny because before Drag Race, like, if you watch my tape, I painted completely different. And I feel like I had my makeup stamped before the show, and it was actually like good for what it was. I feel like going on the show made me second guess so much things because of the critiques. And I just don't think I was ready. I don't think I was ready for any of it. I don't think I was ready for fame. I don't think I was ready to get critiqued. I auditioned for Drag Race because I heard the girls were making money, and I was really poor, and my life was honestly shit. And it changed my life.
So we're going to take a break. When we get back, you are going to give us 2 lies and a truth. Are you ready?
Yeah, I haven't came up with nothing, but maybe I will in the next 2 seconds.
Tonight's special guest, Aja.
We're back. I'm here with Aja, and it's time for 2 lies and a truth. This is the segment where Aja is going to give 3 statements. 2 of them are lies and 1 is a truth, and we will figure out what the actual truth is on the next episode. Aja, you ready?
Yes. I have jumped out of a plane before. During the filming of All Stars, I was really high the entire time. My last thing, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I have had a train ran on me by 3 other Drag Race girls.
Well, that was very, very all over the place. Truths or lies, we don't know what they are. We're going to figure out at the top of the next episode. Before we go and we close all this out, Aja, what's the tea? What's coming up? What you got down the pipeline?
To be honest with you, Joseph, I don't know. No, I'm kidding. I'm still working on music. I'm working on TV stuff. I'm working on my same old business brand deals. Just doing my big one right now. I've been also kind of just doing me and like really getting into Venus's life, which is my name in the daytime, or anytime I'm not in the geesh. So I've just kind of been in my Venus mode. I've been in my spiritual mode, but I feel like there's definitely a renaissance for Aja coming because I feel like people want Aja.
Yeah.
People need Aja.
Where can everybody find you on the social medias?
You can find me at Aja the Queen with a K at Instagram. My Twitter, which I don't know if anybody uses it anymore, is AJAOXUM. It's like very low key, no shade. And you know why, because I talk a lot of shit on Twitter. If you like that shit, follow me. And Spotify, iTunes, everywhere. I'm everywhere. Bitch, search me up. What's up?
Well, I'm Joseph Shepard. This is Aja. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Put your answer down below. What do you think Aja's lie is? Until next time, I will see you all. I'm Joseph. This is Aja. Bye.